new squeaky clean Premiership campaign is just around the corner over in Scotland, and Celtic are looking to make it back-to-back titles. Standing in the way, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and his boys from Rangers. Can they do it? Can they take away back the title once again? We're going to take a look at it. All of it next. That's right, folks. Back once again, another prediction video. Today we're taking a look at the 2022-2023 Premiership season over in Scotland, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you knew where you've been, shark, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, smash your subscribe button, bang up to date. All things Scottish Premiership related, Blackburn Rovers related. Whoa, football related. We got it all here, boys. That's right, folks. Under one rooski. Of course, Celtic looking to make it back-to-back titles with Postecoglou at the helm, but Giovanni Broncos wants to bring some more glory back to the blue side of Glasgow. We'll see who comes out on top in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They're the patrons, guys. You know who you are. Anyway, let's get into it. Of course, take a look at the 12 teams. They're here, right now, of course, for the Scottish Premiership season 2022-2023. We're going to predict from the middle all the way down to the bottom and then work our way to the tip at the top, of course, and make our shout. Bold claim here. Maybe even a surprise package. Could Hearts break into the dynasty here and separate the top two? We'll see. Anyway, let's get cracking, of course, with the first one, which would be, in our eyes, number 7. So number 7 coming at you is we got Aberdeenshire, of course, last season finishing in 10th. Of course, this time around a little bit different. Of course, Jim Godwin has a full season at the kilt, at the helt for Aberdeen, the Dons. That's right. Of course, Anthony Stewart, El Capitano these days. Last season was a right old shit show. Of course, Goodwin came over from St Mirren, done a fantastic job over there, but ultimately not good enough the first season. So what's going to happen this time around? They're actually 5th favourites to win the title for me. I'm down 7th. It's going to be quite tight between 7th and 5th. That's why I have them around about there for the time being. Of course, things can change, things can bubble over the season, but for me, Aberdeen are going to have a bit of a struggle season, and eventually they're still working out the kinks with the Jimmy Goodwin effect. But for me, better than last season, more steady, and again, unfortunate. If you get stuck in that 6th spot, or actually stuck in that 7th spot when the split comes in, you know, it's a shit show. It happened last season with Hibs, was it? Hibs had a lot of points, and of course probably could have finished higher than 6th place Ross County, but we're bearing that in mind. It comes part of the parcel for this. Into 8th spot we have Kilmarnock. They're back once again, champions last time around over in the Championship over in Scotland, where they're back with, of course, Callum. Well, they didn't actually go. No, it's not Callum. It's Derek McInnes. That's right, fantastic stuff. Formerly of Aberdeen, taking over the reins of Kilmarnock. Ain't no slouches down there. Chris Stokes comes in. Can he pull the wool over the eyes of Aberdeenshire? I don't know. I think it's going to be a season of transition for them before they can maybe compete for the top 6. But they got the right man in charge, of course. I was surprised to see him. His stock was so high for a few years, maybe even in the brackets, to become Celtic manager for a little bit. West Brom were looking around. I think even Rovers, Preston North End down the Championship in England. But he took a punt here at Kilmarnock, got them back at the first attempt, and now looking to climb the ladder once again in the top flight. Kilmarnock currently have you around about 501. They're actually around about 8th favourites, but about right for me. So I ain't too moany about that one. I think it's pretty good. Good call for me. And of course, from first in the Championship last time around, it's a good, steady bit of progress. Moving to 9th spot, we have Livingston. That's right, Livingston finishing 7th last time around. Of course, from the Tony Macaroni Stadium, the coolest name in town. David Martindale still the governor there as a manager of Livingston, with Nicky Devlin, El Capitano these days, of course. Last season finishing in 7th. This time around is 9th. The current odds at 501. Right about the same odds as Kilmarnock. Better odds, well, actually nowhere near Aberdeen, but strong odds around about 9th favourite. So I'm doing pretty good for my money right here, right now. And again, these are my picks. I didn't look at the odds beforehand. I'm looking at them right here, right now. I'm staring them right down the throat. And of course, Livingston are an awkward little team. I even at one point consider they might get relegated, but for me, I think there's just a couple more teams much worse off, including 10th spot. That is St Johnstone. They are still around, of course, last season finishing in 11th, of course, with matey boy Callum Davison at the helm. Again, his stock was very, very high a couple of seasons back, where he made back-to-back. He actually won back-to-back trophies, Scottish League Cup, Scottish Cup, FA Cup, and of course had a shitty season last season, competing in Europe, which didn't work out to be very, very successful. And of course, he had to go via the playoffs to stick around for another season. Callum Davison, I think it's his last chance saloon here. They gave him a season grace, I think, last time around. If he fails to deliver here, him and Liam Gordon of El Capitano are going to be in a bit of pressure. 1,001. Joint favourites to go down alongside two other teams. Are they here? I probably think so. When I think about it, they are here. So from 11th last time around to 10th, that's one spot better off. That for me is safety. So they should stick around. And to be honest with you, if you've won 2 cups in a competition that does include Celtic and Rangers, it gives you a little bit of grace. And I think if he does survive, they'll keep him on the books again. If it goes down though, goes relegated, he's going to get sacked. Into 11th spot we do have Ross County. That's right, fantastic season last time around. We got a back of course, Malky Mackay, of course, coming in, doing a fantastic job. Ross County, of course, coming under with a bit of scrutiny, bit of history, bit of troublemaking behind the scenes in previous roles. Of course, a bit of a punt, bit of a gamble for Ross County to make it, but it paid off last time around, finishing in 6th. I don't think they'll see that again, and unfortunately, they're gonna have a bit of a wobble here, major wobble, and again, they're probably gonna struggle to rectify or correct or match last season's fantastic stuff. So 6th spot last time around, of course, Mikey Mine with Jack Baldwin there, but of course they are tipped to go down by the bookies, 1,001, alongside Super Jays, and of course another team, and that other team is 11th spot for, or 12th spot for me, St Mirren. Indeed, I've got them going down once again. Of course, St Mirren last round, okay season for them, 9th spot, but of course they did lose Godwin, of course brought in Stephen Robertson from Morecambe, who wasn't doing a fantastic job down there, and realistically he didn't do a good job last season. I think they kind of went off the grain when the managerial change happened for St Mirren. Stephen Robinson coming in, didn't really steady the ship. Joe Shagnowsy there, of course, El Capitano for St Mirren, but ultimately they're going to struggle. 1,001 to win the title, but for me a major degrade from 9th all the way down to 12th, and that means toast. They're going down in the Championship for the first time in a few years. They've been here a while, but when you do look at the likes of the returning Kilmarnock, of course, the improving Aberdeen, of course, a very difficult Dundee United, and the rest of the guys in the top half, it's very, very difficult to make any progress up there. When you look at it, it's probably one of the strongest Scottish Premierships we've had in years, with only maybe 1 or 2 teams. You might think Dundee should belong in there. Who else is outside the top flight that should be there? Let me know down below. Moving on to number 6, then we do have it is Motherwell. Motherwell coming at you in 5th last time around, 6th for me. Great season for them last time around. Graham Alexander doing a fantastic job, underrated manager here. Formerly of Salford, formerly of where else was he at? I'm just bringing him up. He's definitely at Salford. They went through about a whole plethora of managers. Scunthorpe United and Fleetwood. I did all right at Fleetwood as well, and not too shabby at Scunthorpe. Look where they are now. So underrated manager, formerly of Preston North End. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Of course, I do think there's a lot of years left in the tank for him as a manager, and I don't think we've seen him peak just yet. Stephen O'Donnell, of course, El Capitano for Motherwell. Last season they did finish a respectable 5th spot. They will be in the top half once again. 6th, that ain't too shabby. 450 to 1 to go the distance. They are ranked 6th according to the bookies as well, so I'm not too shabby with my picks so far. Into 5th spot though is Dundee United. Dundee United, of course, same odds as Motherwell, 450 to 1. Last season had a fantastic season in 4th. Of course, Jack Ross coming in though from Tam Courts, a major shift there. Of course, Jack Ross's former positions were Hibs, was there at Sunderland as well. Tam Courts, of course, had his contract terminated. He's gone over to Budapest Honved now, which is a strange old move. You don't see that sort of shit happening. So respect for Tam Courts for doing that. But Dundee United, I'm not too sure what's going to happen with Jack Ross. There's a bit of a wobble here, and I might have given you a bit of benefit here by putting him as high as 5th. I didn't really bear that in mind with the Jack Ross appointment. So for me, I think that's going to be a gamble that might not prove to be successful. However, if you do get 5th, you can't complain. Ryan Edwards is our captain for Jack Ross's boys in Dundee United. They are 450 to 1. Can he botch it up though? Can he botch it up at another attempt over in Scotland? We'll have to wait and see though. For me, Dundee United in 5th. What are your thoughts about that move into fourth spot we go now, and it's Hearts of Midlothian. Heart of Midlothian, indeed, of course, fantastic season last time around. Third, they were very, very good when the Robbie Nelson done a fantastic job. Craig Gordon, fantastic captain, fantastic player, fantastic steward of the club there. But of course, last season third, they'll be in Europe in some shape or form. They'll be preoccupied. They'll be difficult to beat, but I do think they'll have a little bit of a wobble, of course, in regards to the state of play in the league. 80-1 for them to go the distance. A third favourites, of course, in the bookies, but for me, one step backwards for them, and of course, a bit of a painful one as well, because that opens up the door for another Edinburgh-based team. Of course, I'm wearing this with green and white glasses. I am looking at this as a Hibernian fan. Third spot for me for Hibs, with Lee Johnson at the helm. Of course, fourth favourites, 101. Lee Johnson, of course, formerly a Sunderland as well. So Jack Ross and Lee Johnson can have little chats at half time, where they used to park the car when they were at Stadium of Light, or who was their favourite member of the cafeteria, or do they remember any cracking recipes? So they'll be doing that. But of course, for me, Lee Johnson is a young manager who's been given a rough end of the stick. Fantastic stuff he did at Bristol City. He took the poison chalice, which was, of course, the Stadium of Light and Sunderland, and of course it didn't really work out. But for me, this is an opportunity for him to flex his muscles. Of course, the only Englishman managing in the league, so I've got to give him a credit there. Paul Hanlon as well, and of course 100-1 to go the distance. They did finish a woeful 8th last time around with matey boy David Gray was caretaker, taking over from Jack Ross, who kind of fluffed his lines there. But for me, third spot for Hibs, it is the road, and of course into second spot. I'll give them to you both straight here. I have Rangers into second and Celtic in the top billing. Why, oh why? Well, of course, Rangers, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst coming in. He's not Steven Gerrard, is he? He doesn't bring that sort of pizzazz alongside his swagger, and of course they just sold young Bassey gone to Ajax, I think, and Ben Davies coming into Rangers. They still have kept a hold of Morelos for the time being. Ryan Kent again as of recording. Of course, still a lot of transfer window to go, but the key men are still there. But Celtic are just playing a different level of football these days. Ange Postecoglou has got a working a treat. Of course, both sides will be in the Champions League, I think, next season, so that'll be good for Scottish football to get a bit of a spotlight. Yeah, for me, Postecoglou has done a fantastic job with Celtic, and I think they're going to run away with this league, and they could be quite a force as well for some years while he's still here. He's bringing in some gems from the Far East. He's bringing some gems from down under as well. He looks like he's going to bring in Aaron Moy, which is going to go under the radar as a free transfer, but a cracking bit of business. A player I rate highly in Aaron Moy. So great stuff for Celtic looking forward. And again, Blackburn Rovers did pick up a draw against them, so we must be decent as well. That is my take on the Scottish Premiership. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Hopefully you agree or disagree. Let me know. Of course, I'm interested to see your thoughts for the Scottish Premiership. And again, a big shout out to Dion. Now, Dion, I believe, I communicated with him a little bit a couple of days ago to ensure that he's game for this new season. I'm going to give him the keys here. He's going to run with the show. I'm going to produce the show, give him everything, and he's just going to sit back in Virginia and bang these puppies out. One show a week. He'll be your guy. He'll be your face of the place. But, of course, I will be there reading your comments, looking at your predictions and all that kind of stuff. So don't fear that I'm not paying attention. I will be paying attention. And, of course, that is that. But I want to give you my take on it. Of course, Dion might have his own bag. If you want to check his own bag out, maybe go to his own channel. Check it all out. His channel has a lot of MLS stuff on there. He has Premier League stuff on there as well. But he's come to help me out to do the Scottish stuff. So a big shout out to Dion. We'll be in Communicado later. But make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the thumbs up, smash the little bell. Until then, ladies and gents, that is it. We'll be back soon for the first game of the season. But until then, we're done.